Hello there, More here, and thank you for joining me on my channel right now. Today, we're going to dive into a champion guide or spotlight for Abyssal. He is a Spirit Affinity, Demon Spawn, rare, support-based champion, and he might be able to bring some value for your content. Let's dive in and find out. So his A1, it's an attack all enemy A1, which is not too bad, especially for a rare champion. The debuff that it can do has a 15% chance of placing a block buffs debuff for 2 turns. Book it out, it can go up to a 30% chance to land that block buffs debuff on an AoE attack. That's not entirely too bad of a skill, especially for an A1 on a rare champion. You could potentially use that as a lead-off skill in a speed team for arena by chance, that block buffs debuff to help slow down the enemy team. His A2 heals all allies by 15% of their max HP. Book it up to a 3-turn cooldown, and you can get an additional 25% increase to that 15% of their max HP. Now remember, with healing, it does not work like damage. It is not additive, it is multiplicative. So that additional 25% is not a total of 40%. Also, this is the weaker version of this kind of skill. It is 15% of their max HP, not 15% of his max HP. So it is going to be dependent on their stats, not his stats. Harder to control, harder to count on, not quite as consistent in my book. His A3 places a ward. Wards of Madness is the name of the skill. Places a 30% increased defense buff and a 25% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. Those are both the small versions of those buffs. However, it does go on every single person on your team, and book it up to a 4-turn cooldown for a duration of 2 turns. A little underwhelming, I think, even for a rare champion. It is a little underwhelming. It is a small version of those buffs, and it is on a 4-turn cooldown for only a 2-turn duration. His aura increases ally speed in faction crypts by 16%. Speed aura on a rare champion is valuable. Not all rare champions have auras, period, and a speed aura is a very valuable aura to have in the faction crypts. It could bring some value to your team and to your progression. I'm sure it can. Now, the build that I've got this Abyssal in, I've got him in a Fury set, right? That's what that is. Sorry, a Frenzy set and a Defense set. I wanted him to be able to take as many turns as possible without counting on RNG with a Relentless gear. So the Frenzy set, a reminder, is plus 10% turn meter increase for every 5% HP loss. So when he takes damage, he's going to get an increase to his turn meter. And I wanted him that to be able to help cycle through his turns because he is not booked. I don't have an infinite amount of resources to book all my rare champions out for these guides, but I also want them to be realistic for you and your content. So, cycle through his turns so he can get his cooldowns done because all of his skills affect every single champion that he is directing something towards. So his A1 is attacks all enemies, and then both his other skills affects the entire team on your team as well. So I want him to cycle through because he does bring value to the team. And the stats I've got him at. Again, the not most built up, the most not superstar build, not superstar stats. I got 22,000 HP. 1,300 attack, 1,500 defense. His speed is only 133. Crit rate 42. Crit damage 67. I was not focusing on bringing damage to the table with this champion. His resist is only 60, but his accuracy is 130. I did want him to be able to take some hits. I did want him to be able to put out a little bit of damage. I do want him to be able to cycle through his turns. So I do want some speed on him, and I do want a little bit of accuracy so he can place that A1 debuff, that block buffs debuff, because it could potentially bring some value to slow down the enemy team. So now let's go jump into some gameplay. We're going to take him to Ice Golems 13 with another team and see just what he can look like and what he can bring to the table for your content. So we're here about to start Ice Golem 13. Right there is the team that he's with. It is not a superstar team. 4 rares, 1 epic champion. 2 of those rares are level 60. The other 3 are level 50 to include himself. Again, I want to bring a realistic possibility of a team to you so that you can see what he might be able to bring for your content, not a bunch of superstars that you can never achieve. So, they're not going to make massively fast work on this run. It's probably going to be a grand total of about a 5-minute run we'll get through this. We'll talk through a couple of things that he's going to do. Then we'll speed up the run so we don't waste up too much of your time here. So, as you can see, he's got the increased attack buff on everybody on the team. I do have Steel Skull in there, and he does bring a large version of that increased defense buff to the entire team. So that was replaced by that. His Abyssal's small version was replaced by that buff from Steel Skull. That is his A1. It attacks all champions. Unfortunately, there was only one champion to attack, right? So here we go. We're probably going to see his A1 here in just a minute again. Bring it. There it is. A1 brought it up. If you notice, there was a decreased cooldown on him. Again, I wanted to cycle through his turns, right? Cycle through his cooldowns as fast as possible. So I do have the Mastery that has that small chance to proc the decreased cooldown every single time he takes a turn. Okay. Here we go. That was his heal on everybody on the team. He just did it. He's got to bring some heal to the table. So we're going to get into the final boss right now. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up for you so we can run through it. And at the end, we're going to see just how much healing he did to the team compared to the other 4 healers I have on this team. All 5 champions bring heal to the table. How much damage did he do? How much healing did he do? Let's find out. 148,000 damage he did. Roughly, I mean, you look at that. That's the 4th in damage output. His healing was 25,000 healing compared to Mother Superior was 371,000 healing. Apothecary, 62,000. Draconis was 117,000. His, I will admit, is inflated because he is on 3 immortal sets. So he heals himself every single turn, which is rolled up into that healing right there. And then Steel Skull did 262,000 healing. So obviously, Mother Superior and Steel Skull are my 2 biggest healers, right? The 2 biggest supports when it comes down to it. Abyssal is only 25,000 healing. He only has 1 healing skill. That was on a 4-turn cooldown. So it is healing everybody on the team, right? So it's 50% heal of everybody on the team. However, it's on a 4-turn cooldown. It's a little lackluster, but he did bring some damage to the table with his AoE A1. Now, if his skills were booked out, his cooldowns would be reduced on his healing and his buffing skill. So his damage output would actually decrease once you book them up, but his healing potential should actually increase slightly. Overall, he didn't do a whole lot. But his Masteries. What Masteries have I got him on? As you can see, I got him on the support and the defense. I wanted him to be able to maximize the potential of that healing that he does do. And I wanted him to be able to take as much damage as he possibly can. Because, like any other support, if a support can't survive, a support can't support. The job of a support champion is to keep the damage dealers alive. But if the supports can't stay alive, the damage dealers will not stay alive either. So I wanted him to be able to take a hit. So defense and support on trees is what I took him down. I think you should take him down those trees as well if you're going to build him up. But should you build up this Abyssal champion, should you take him to 6-star? No. I don't think he's worth the resources to take it to 6-star. I think he's worth the resources to take to 5-star. Potentially put some books, but most likely no books, no 6-star for this champion. He is at best a mid-level, mid-game champion to help you progress through some content at the lower stages or lower levels. We took him to level 13 in the Ice Golem. I don't think he's going to be bringing much value, much higher than 13 for your content. As you know, they can go all the way up to level 25. I don't think he can do that, but he can definitely help you get to the lower stages to get to that point so you can transition to maybe a better champion for your team. If you like this video and this champion guide, go ahead and click on that champion guide that's over on the other side of the screen right now. And I'll join you on the next video. And thank you so much for your support If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button to join the mission to create the most comprehensive library of champion guides that the Raid Shadow Legends community has ever seen. And I'll see you on that next video.